Hello, I'm John, the Warhammer Modeler, and welcome to another video in the series of converting Karloth Valois for Necromunda. Now, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at one of his arms to work out whether a straight swap with another miniature will work. The arm that I'm looking at is from a Skitarii Ranger. It's got a shoulder pad that I'm quite interested to try and keep. Obviously the hand is going to go and I'm going to replace that. It looks a better scale than the power armour arm that's on there already. So the first thing that I'm going to have to do is take this arm off. And to do that, I'm going to use my clippers to take the bulk of it off. I want to keep the cuff of the glove. So what I'll do first is trim that arm back, so I can keep hold of that. Chances are I'm going to do some sculpting around these anyway to tidy them up. So, okay, that's cleaned that off. What I want to do before I forget is recover the cuff of the glove, because I want to use his gloved hands in this model. There we go, there's that section just there. So as well as this, what I need to do is get his hand from the kit and take that off so I can put this on the arm. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the foresword off just above the hilt. So it gives me some options when I attach his staff, but for now so first things first, after I clean this up a little bit, let's glue the cuff onto the glove. Always the little bits flying around the place. There we go. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to prepare the arm. So what I'm going to do is take the hand off at the wrist, clean up where the weapon is. I'm also going to have to angle slightly where the shoulder is. I don't want it sticking straight out like that, or do I? I'm going to take the hand off first, then I'm going to have a look at that with the staff, because it might actually look quite good. Okay. So let's get the hand in place. Need to orientate this round the right way. Oh. There we go, it's kind of like it. Let me just put his cloak on so I can see that a little bit better. Now the thing is, whenever I'm doing these conversions, anything that I do isn't permanent. I might change my mind quite a bit as I'm doing things. I might change the look that I want to give something. So with the arm at the moment, I've got that shoulder pad on there from the Skitarii Ranger. But I've got it there as a bit of a guide, because I'd like to sculpt possibly the shoulder pads. If we look at the original model, you can see he's got proper big shoulder pads. But having that as a basis is quite useful. So I'm looking at it, I kind of thinking I want this kind of an angle on it, rather than it sticking just straight out. If we have a look at the staff I did previously, obviously I've still got to trim the hands off this one. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trim into the actual model a bit and see what angle that actually gives. So that starts to give a possible angle that I'm looking for. Just a little bit more of that. So a lot of the cloak and everything I'm probably going to sculpt extra detail on, just kind of play around with the scale of this. There was a good comment made on the previous video with the cloak, how big the cloak is. I may trim this further back. It all depends what this model turns out like. If it's a kind of a centerpiece model, I'm not too worried about it being too big for kind of like the corridors in Necromunda. But if it becomes more of a gaming piece, I will reduce this cape back down a bit, just so it's a little bit smaller and easy to manage whilst playing. For now, let's have a look in here. Okay, so I'm getting quite happy with where this is positioning. What I have noticed is, though, the arm has gone a little bit skew. So while that's still pliable, I'm just going to move that. That's better. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do is trim off the little cable from the back of the arm. Oh, hands come off. I'll re-glue the hand in a second then. Let's just get this cable off. Okay, so before I stick the hand back on, what I will do, I'm just going to shave a slight angle onto the bottom of the arm there. So yeah, there we go. I can position that arm in place. So yeah, before I put the hand on, let me re-glue. Let me glue this in place. Perfect. So this gives me room to do some more sculpting over the top if I want to. We'll play around with the details later on. So what I'm looking for is to straighten this glove up as much as possible. Looking at where the staff's going to sit, if that's there. I'm quite happy with that. So obviously there's a few little gaps and things. I'm happy with how that arm looks. If I just put the cloak back on just to see how that's looking. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. So the staff itself, obviously I've got to take the hands off the forestaff, but looking at where that's going to sit, I think that's going to work quite nicely. So that's it for this video. Just looking at this arm just to try and work out the direction I want to go with this part of the conversion. I'm quite happy with that. So I'll have a look around for a right arm to do a similar thing. I want to either work out whether he's going to be holding his pistol or holding his hand up using a psychic power or something like that. But for now, I'm quite happy with the way this is turning out. But as I said before, I may change this later on down the line. It's the benefit with the plastic glue. I can take the bits off, re-glue them and that kind of thing. So, anyway, that's it for now. I'm John, the Warhammer Modeler. Stay safe.